What's up, everybody? Doc Dark 1985. There's levels to this. I'm gonna come with a few. With a few of them things today. Probably. We'll see. What time is it? Yeah, I got a few. So, yo, be careful what you ask for. Like, for real, in life and everything, be careful what you ask for, because once you get it, you might not want it. I think it was either a few videos ago or something. I asked for you guys to send me some pro Microsoft, pro Xbox YouTubers, Twitter names, whatever, because I'm just being honest, because my freaking YouTube page was just being filled with pro Sony stuff, anti Microsoft stuff, and I got to the point watching all these videos, like I promise you, where I was just like, I'm just about to go in on all these Sony fans. Like, hold up, your system is good, but it ain't godsend. Like, come on now. Like, I could pick apart stuff on the PS5. Like, come on now. But I asked for a pro Xbox video so that I could see the difference, and I could see what the Sony fans complain about, Xbox fans, and all this other stuff. And let me tell you, man, I got what I asked for. And I thought it was gonna be the same, and let me tell you, it's the exact same thing on both sides, man. The pro Xbox crowd is just as ridiculous as the pro Sony crowd, just as ridiculous. And what's crazy is, like, you sit here and you start listening to these guys talk, and influence is a crazy thing, man. Let me tell you right now, influence is a crazy. If you don't think as a human being you can be influenced, you're lying to yourself. Everything you wear, the way you talk, the way you walk, what you listen to, everything is just influencing you. So if you truly believe that the PS5 is the best thing since sliced bread, and Sony is the best thing since sliced bread, and all you listen to is people talking positively about the PS5, you're being influenced. You need to listen to Xbox and Microsoft people talk about how great the Xbox is if you're a PS5 fan, so that you can really look at it and be like, okay, no, I can dispute that. Nah, and that way you can see if you're being influenced or if you really like what it is that you think you like, because you might not. But anyways, and here's the thing, right? Some things are just blatantly lies. Some things are just blatantly clickbait. And what's funny is, like, I was getting on some Sony people, because, man, there's some Sony dudes that be having crazy clickbait titles, like, and they get me, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'll be clicking on it. Like, Sony reveals news that's gonna bring Microsoft under. And I'm like, oh, snap! Microsoft about to go under. What's the news? And the news is that you could put the PS5 vertically. What? I'm being facetious, but it ain't nothing crazy, right? But Microsoft be doing the same thing. Microsoft fans be doing the same thing. It's like, oh my lord. But this is what I mean. Some of them are really just, I don't know, man. It's either nasty lies or they're just not that bright. But other times it's not even like that. They're just saying things and they really mean it, but they're not really thinking about what they're saying. So I'll give you an example, right? There's this one really popular Sony, a guy or whatever, right? And he's been harping on the fact, just blatantly saying that there's no way these systems are going to give us 4K 60 when PCs with a 2080 Ti have a hard time doing 4K 60, right? And I'm listening to what he's saying, and what he's saying makes sense, right? Because a 20 Ti is a very expensive graphics card. I mean, now the 3070 is going to come out, and that's about $500. So it's still the same price as the console itself. To give you ray tracing, 4K, and all this other stuff, it doesn't make sense. PC gamers will tell you it doesn't make sense how these consoles are going to do 4K 60, right? So you on face value, you don't want to believe it. So when he says that, you're like, yeah, maybe it's not going to give us 4K 60. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, that makes no sense. But then you got to remember that at least on the Xbox Series X part, they've already showed games running at 4K 60. So the narrative that we're not going to have games next generation running at 4K 60 is wrong. We already have games running at 4K 60. But again, like, and the dude's a good talker. That's another thing, right? If you're a good talker, you got swag or whatever, I mean, yo, listen to somebody. And then, so I'm sitting there listening to this guy, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Because I already believe that. The 2080 Ti is so expensive. The Xbox Series X is going to be as strong as the 2080 Ti. I don't believe that. Blah, blah, blah. No way it's going to run 4K 60. That's impossible. But they already have video games running on the Xbox Series X at 4K 60. So that narrative is wrong. Yes, we do have games running at 4K 60. Point blank, period. I don't care if it's an old game. You said we weren't going to have this. 4K, we're doing it. We're doing it. What? And then here's the thing, right? What new game is anybody right now playing on a 2080 Ti at 4K 60? Go ahead, I'll wait. What next generation game is anybody right now with a PC playing at 4K 60? Oh, none. You know why? Because there are no next generation games yet. You see how that narrative is crazy? So the 2080 Ti is currently playing games at 4K 60 now, right? Barely, right? And the Xbox Series X is doing the exact same thing, but we don't believe that it can. Doesn't matter what you believe, they're already doing it. So that's the type of stuff that I'm just looking at. I'm like, man, that's crazy. And then here we go with Microsoft. With the Microsoft fans and the Microsoft YouTube and stuff. Like, yo, you got to give your props to Sony. Ain't nobody... You could be excited for Game Pass, right? You could be excited for Game... I think Game Pass is a great deal. I do. But what else about the Xbox Series X is really that great? Like, what game? Can't say Halo Infinite, because that's not coming out for, we don't know. We don't know when it's coming out. So what, the Fable, when is Fable coming out? And when has Fable been like an amazing franchise? I have no idea what Avowed's about. I know people were talking about Avowed. I don't know what it's about, so y'all gonna have to tell me what that's about. What other game? What other game? If you're like me and you like playing old games, then okay, that's what you need to brag about. Xbox Series X is a high-end PC that's going to let you play old games. Just be honest. That's what it is right now, and I'm okay with that. I pre-ordered the Xbox Series X because I want a high-end PC that's going to be able to play old games at 4K 60. Or 1440p 120, it don't matter. That's even better. I'll take 1440p. I'll take 1080p 120 frames over 4K 60. I will, personally. That's okay. Demon Souls looks phenomenal. Spider-Man Miles Morales looks phenomenal. It does. But ain't nobody got next-gen games yet. How do we know what this thing's gonna look like on the PS? What if it looks just as good on the PS4? You don't know that. Or the PS4 Pro. What if the PS4 Pro can run this thing at 1080p 60? Miles Morales. And the difference between the PS5 is that it's gonna run at 1440p. I don't know what the difference is gonna be, but I mean, it's not a next-gen game either. So both of these companies and both of these like fans and everything, look, to me the most exciting things about both consoles is that backwards compatibility. I think that is great. I'm gonna be able to play my old games and they're gonna look better, they're gonna run better. That's legit. But I'm watching, man, I'm listening to these podcasts too. These dudes, they got full podcasts, man, just talking about their platform and what they, and I don't understand why they don't go into each other's platforms like they should. That's what they should do. There should be one podcast, do it like Joe Rogan does, And you'll have one person from here, one person from here. All right, let's go ahead and talk and let's debate. Twitter's even worse, man. If y'all not on this Twitter gaming stuff, y'all need to get on here, man. There's some funny stuff, man. If you can see both sides, how hypocritical everybody is, it's ridiculous. Because sometimes you don't even see how hypocritical you are. Somebody made a good point, man. Somebody said, because sometimes they do have good points. Somebody said that PlayStation fans are excited about something that the Nintendo Wii did with the motion controls and everything. Yo, that's so disrespectful. That's so disrespectful. That's true though. I don't want to be playing no more games where I gotta move the controller and stuff. Nah, I'm not doing that. If I want that, I'm getting a Wii. I'm not doing that. Don't do that, Sony. Don't do that. All those gimmicks. But yeah, I think both consoles have their pros. Both consoles have their cons, and I mean, it is what it is. You can't deny that Wi-Fi 6. You can't act like that's not a big deal. The most powerful console next generation has the weaker Wi-Fi. These are facts. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. I'm getting it, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of upset. Now I know what the workaround is. You know, hardcore gamers are gonna say, well, I'm gonna have my system connected to a hardline, which I am as well. My system will be connected to the Ethernet cable. I'm telling you right now, I did that this generation, man, it changes gaming forever. Like, you'll never want to play over Wi-Fi. Try it, but it is what it is. Well, that's enough of a rant. And what I'm gonna call this? Fanboy rant. Dark1985. Yo, there's levels to this, and both y'all freaking Sony ponies and Xbox, man, y'all both look ridiculous. And I know I look ridiculous too in some of my videos. Some of my videos I probably look like an Xbox, and in some of my videos I probably look like a Sony pony. So I look ridiculous too. We out. Peace.